Good day everyone. In this video we are going to look on the development of handwriting. To start with, we have here first these three steps or stages on the development of handwriting. Okay, so number one, it says here that copybook form or blackboard illustrations of the different letters. So this is when the time that we are still in our grade school or in the preschool, okay, or from the time that we are still being taught by our parents. Okay, so again, we have here the so-called copybook form, or we simply refer to them as our standard formats or standards in how or guide on how we are going to write the different letters, okay, in order for us to create words, or simply we can refer to these as the alphabets that we have during our childhood days. Okay, so in the first stage here, it says that it is more on, or by looking on those copybook form or blackboard illustrations that was being shown by us, that was being shown by our teachers. Okay, the one that we are practicing there, or the one that is being developed during that time, is not actually writing, okay, but it's more on imitations. Okay, since we have already or imitations wherein it is just like we are drawing, okay, or in other words, we are just copying, okay, what we are seeing. So with that, that is the very first stage wherein we can learn how to write different letters. Okay, so we are going to after we were able to master, okay, uh, copying those illustrations that was being shown to us. Okay, this time we are going to the next stage on development of handwriting, is already focusing more on the attention, okay, that is centered on the execution of various letters. Okay, so that's the time we are going to have here already the proper, okay, execution, or we are going to learn here already, or we are being taught here already on how to properly write letter A, or on how to properly write big letter A, and also how to properly write small letter A and the other letters. Okay, so this time hindi na drawing yung nangyayari, or not simply imitations. Okay, not simply imitations, but now this time we are going to start to develop already writing skills. Okay, so with that, with the repetitions, or after several, okay, practice or repetition, or writing those different letters for several times, then we were able already to create, or we can create already writings, okay, unconsciously, or they say that with the repetitions we can be able to write, okay, unconscious coordinated, or we can write even though we have, or even though, okay, that we are not thinking on on how we are going to start, but it is already called as unconscious coordinated movement. Okay, so with that, with these three basic steps, okay, or these three basic stages, this is how we were able to acquire or develop our handwriting. So basically, it starts from imitation, okay, especially during the childhood, copying the letters that being shown to us, okay, especially the alphabets, and the next one is the writing procedure, okay, or the steps on how to write the different letters, and afterwards, with the practice that we are doing, repetitions of those, we were able to write already different characters or different letters unconsciously, or we were able already to create, okay, our own or the so-called individual characteristics or unique characteristics of our handwriting. Okay, so now we have here, or let's try to just look on also with the different kinds of writings, especially the basic kinds or basic types of writings that we are doing or we might seeing with other people. Okay, so number one here is the cursive type of handwriting. So as you can see in our image or in our illustration, it is connected. Okay, so cursive writings are joined, or they say that it is running, okay, connected writing in which one letter is joined to the next. Okay, so this is very much useful when it comes to taking down notes, especially just like in lectures during your class. Okay, so if the teacher is very fast in the discussion, then maybe cursive type of taking down notes is very much useful. Okay, kasi mas mabilis kayong makakapagsulat kapag connected. Okay, or we can say that the letters are joined, okay, with each other, so we can easily we can easily write down notes. Okay, and then in British English they say that it is joined up writing as, and on the other hand the Australians, they term it as, or they say that it is a running writing. Okay, but generally we call it as a cursive writing. Okay, next one in here is script writing. So script writing, this is the opposite of cursive writing, because in script writing this is separated. Okay, or in other words they say that it is printed, they say that it is printing. Okay, or it is a printed writings. Okay, so they are separated, or the letters are separated. So dito, since they are not connected, then tendency might be it takes more time. Okay, it takes more time than it takes more time to write several letters than the cursive type of handwriting. Okay, so the next one is block writings, or block writings. So block writings, it is, in other words, we call it as the in other words, we are just simply referring to writings that are written in all capital letters. Okay, also called as block letters. So simply block writing, these are the use of the capital letters in writing, or in doing, okay, or in your handwriting. Okay, so next one is print writing, simply refer to the combination of cursive and printing. So some of the letters are connected and some of the letters are unconnected. So those are the four basic types of handwriting. Okay, and we have here the physiological basis of handwriting. So why, or how we are going to, or how is handwriting being formed? Okay, so paano nga ba tayo nakakabuo ng libro? Paano tayo nakakabuo ng handwritings? So what are the body parts, or what are the factors that are involved? Okay, so is it only our hand muscles that is involved? Okay, so thinking, or some say that it's just, or for us, okay, since we were not able since we did not able to hear yet, okay, or hear it from others, what is really happening when we are doing, or when we are writing something. Okay, so it is not only including, or it does not only includes, okay, does not only include the hand muscles. Okay, so there are lots of body factors, there are lots of body parts that are involved when it comes to handwriting, so it's also complex. Okay, so what is, or aside from the hand, what are the body parts that are also that are also involved? Okay, so first one is, yes, of course, our brain. Okay, so makakapagsulat ba tayo kung hindi tayo nakakapag, or wala tayong naiisip, or wala tayong nai-imagine? Okay, wala tayong hindi natin iniisip kung ano yung maisulat. Okay, so without the brain functions, we can not create handwritings, or we are hard, or it's very much difficult to create handwritings. Okay, so first, especially when it comes to, or what are the things that we are observing in our environment, or what we see, okay, what we feel, what we taste. Okay, so it is simply those things that are being perceived by our senses. Okay, it is being processed in our brain. Okay, and then with that, these things that we have in our brain, okay, it will be sent by, okay, so it is after it is processed. Okay, sabi nga natin, brain also has, there is a certain part of our brain that controls especially our muscles also. So with that, okay, uh, this I mean, after it is being processed in our brain, it will be sent, okay, to our muscles. Okay, or the signals will be sent through our muscles, especially the flexor and extensor muscles. Okay, so ano nga ba yung flexor and extensor muscles that are involved in handwriting? Okay, so take note also that our handwritings are being affected. Okay, affected especially by our mind, emotions, and our attitudes. Okay, especially, or this part that controls our mind, emotions, and attitudes. Okay, the cortex. So with that, that's why yung mga, okay, yung mga books na binabasa natin that was written by different authors, we are also affected, or we are also being sabihin natin na nadadala, okay, or tayo ay nadadala dun sa feeling, okay, dun sa emotions nung sinulat nung author. Okay, so with that, again, moving on with the muscles, we are talking about the muscles involved in handwriting, especially the flexor and extensor. Okay, so we have here the extensor. It is usually the muscle that is involved, okay, when it comes to upward strokes, or this is the muscle that we are using in order for us to create upward strokes. Okay, and the flexor is also for us to create, or these muscles are involved in creating downward strokes. Okay, so downward strokes. So with that, of course, writing does not only involve upward strokes, okay, but it also it does not also involve just only downward strokes, but it also involve lateral strokes. Okay, so for us to create letters, we need to there is also lateral strokes, okay, for us to create letters. And with that, these flexor and extensor muscles, okay, combined, okay, with the lumbrical muscles, okay, we have also the lumbrical muscles to form lateral strokes. Okay, so those are the three muscles involved for us to create a certain writing. Okay, so in creating, okay, big letter E, so there are lots of strokes that you need in that. Okay, so there is a downward stroke, okay, and then lateral stroke for us to create letter E. Okay, and some other letters also we need to have, or we need to, in some letters there are needed, okay, up, or it starts with an upward strokes, especially cursive. Okay, so upward strokes usually when it comes to cursive writing, especially letter L. Okay, and with that, those are the muscles that are involved in writing. And this time, the extension, okay, the extension for us to create, okay, writings is not just, it does not end on the muscles, but we have already the writing instrument. Okay, this serves as the extension of our hands for us to create writings. Okay, so that is just the the basic, okay, summary for us to show the physiological basis of handwriting. Okay, so now we have here the principles involved in handwriting identification. Okay, so number one, it says here that no two okay, writers write exactly alike. Okay, so your handwriting is different from the handwriting of your classmate, okay, or your handwriting is different from the handwriting of your parents. Okay, so as one principle of handwriting is this. Okay, we are, or your handwriters are also unique. Okay, so that's why we can be able to identify who is the real author of the uh, unknown book or unknown letter through examining the characteristics of the handwriting. Okay, so yun nga, sabi natin, handwritings natin are unique. That's why we can use this for identification. Okay, so the characteristics of a person are acquired through a long process by many repetitions. Anyway, kaya meron yung sinasabi natin na general characteristics. So, ibig sabihin nun, common sa atin yon, or common sa bawat tao. Okay, na talagang ang letter B, pagsulat ng letter B ay ganto. Okay, katulad ng ito, dinodrawing natin dito. Or kung hindi man, ang talagang pagsulat ng letter C ay pag ganon. Okay, ang itsura ng letter C. Okay, or ang itsura ng letter D ay ganun talaga. Okay, but with that, looking on that writings, okay, if we are going to analyze the size, okay, the shape, or we are going to analyze the pressure on how did he write that letter, then that is already, or we were able to have already the individual characteristics. Kasi 'di ba, meron yung iba madiin ang pagsulat. Okay, as they write, or if they are going to write, they put too much pressure on their pens. Okay, meron din yung iba magaan lang yung paghawak sa ballpen. Okay, so with that, nabubuo yung uniqueness also or it's because of long process of repetitions, or it's because of repetitions. So with that, we were able to develop our own, okay, unique style in writing, or we were able to develop already the unique characteristics of our handwritings. Okay, and then with that, masasabi din natin na no two writers write exactly alike, because yun nga, we have different emotional aspect effects also. Okay, so we have also different mental and physical condition. Okay, so aside from mental and physical condition, okay, we also have different emotional affections. Okay, so with that, sabi nga natin kanina, handwritings natin, it is affected by our emotions also. So with that, since we have different mental and physical conditions, then that could be one reason for us to, that could be one factor, okay, that we can say that there's no two writers that write exactly alike. Okay, exactly alike, take note of that. Maybe there are writers that write slightly alike, but there is no such thing that it is so exact. Okay, that it is completely, okay, alike with the other handwriting style of the other author. Okay, so that is for principle number 1. And now we have here the physical writing condition and position, okay, of the person, including his writing instrument, may affect the writing, okay, characteristics, but they don't not confine all the identifying elements. Okay, so meron tayo dito physical writing conditions. Okay, it could be the positions, okay, on how do we write, okay, the letters, okay, that we created. But it doesn't mean that even though that we have if it doesn't mean that we have or since we have physical impairments, okay, and other or we create handwritings in different positions, it doesn't mean that pwede nating maitago, okay, yung identifying elements ng ating handwriting. Okay, so pwede pa rin nating ma-identify, na ikaw yung author, even though that you perform it in different positions or in different writing condition. Okay, so let's say you are sick, okay, yesterday, or you write something, okay, you do your homeworks yesterday and you feel sick during that time, okay, and then it doesn't mean na nawala yung identifying elements nung ginawa mo yun that you were sick, okay, with the handwritings na nagagawa mo nung ikaw ay walang sakit, okay, and same with the position. So even though it might be affected, syempre, okay, pero hindi yan dahilan para maitago lahat-lahat, okay, ng identifying or individual characteristics na meron ang handwriting mo, okay. So that is for principle number 2. Another principle says here that writers cannot exceed his maximum, okay, his maximum ability, his maximum writing ability or skill, okay, without serious effort and training applied over a period of time, okay. So take note, even though that we are the writer, okay, we cannot, or it is very hard to disguise, okay, a handwriting. So bakit kaya ang mga ibang tao, they try to disguise their handwritings, okay. So this is this could be, okay, in the form of, or they have the intention to hide, okay, their identity, or they have the intention to blackmail someone, okay. So for them to not to be detected, okay, or not to be identified, okay, kasi kapag isend nila yung letter, okay, dun sa tao, let's say they are trying to blackmail a certain individual, okay, sumulat siya, and then with that, syempre kapag lalong-lalo na kung kilala niyo yung tao, sabihin natin kayo na magkaibigan, mayroon kayong away, okay, and then ikaw, since galit na galit ka pa sa yung classmate, okay, gusto mo siyang takutin or gusto mo siyang i-blackmail. So yun, gumawa ka ng letter, pero naisip mo baka malaman niya na ikaw yung sumulat, since alam ng classmate mo or ng kaibigan mo na yun na ganun ang handwriting mo. So this time you are going to try to disguise your handwriting, okay, para maitago mo yung identifying characteristics mo, okay. So with that you try to disguise, you change the slant ng inyong handwriting, or kung paano mo isulat yung mga letters, binago mo kung paano mo isulat ang binago mo yung spacing ng yung pagsulat, okay. So that is a form of disguise handwriting, okay. So with that, malalaman the handwriting, okay, expert can identify, okay, bakit can identify or have an idea or have different techniques on how to identify that is just a disguised handwriting that was made by you, okay. So meron tayo yung mga characteristics, or pwede nating malaman, okay, kung pwede pa rin malaman na ikaw yung gumawa ng handwriting na yun, even though na binago mo or dinisguise mo. So there should be one thing that could be considered, okay, na masasabi natin na yan ay disguised handwriting, okay, since ikaw gusto mong baguhin yung handwriting mo, di ba? Kapag handwriting mo yan, nakasanayan mo na yan, so mabilis kang magsulat, okay. So ang gagawin mo, since gusto mong i-disguise, babagal ka na magsulat na, okay, medyo babagal na yung pagsusulat mo, okay. So with that, since mabagal ka nang magsulat, okay, or you try to control, okay, control the speed of your handwriting, then mabubuo yung merong mga mabubuong identifying characteristics na yan ay disguised handwriting, okay. So since mabagal din, kakapal yung ink, okay, kakapal yung sulat mo, okay, or mas yung pen pressure masyadong or mas didiin siya, unlike dun sa freehand or dun sa normal handwriting mo, okay, na magaan lang yung pagsulat mo and then tuloy-tuloy, okay. So yun yung that could be one sign that is a disguised handwriting, okay. So anyway, a writer cannot easily exceed, okay, his maximum writing ability or skill, or cannot easily disguise unless he try to practice it, okay, or give with the training, okay, or efforts, okay, in practicing how he disguised his handwriting. Okay, but that is not, or disguising your handwriting, it's very much difficult. Okay, and then we have here combination of handwriting characteristics, okay, including those derived from form and writing movements are essential elements of identification. So take note of the elements of movements, okay, katulad na lang nung skill, rhythm, writing pressure, emphasis, shading, location, and quality of starts and stop, okay, pen lifts and other elements of movements in writing. So these are the focus, okay, these handwriting characteristics are one of the things that we are focusing on, okay, not just simply how did he write letter B or paano yung itsura ng letter B niya, okay, but we are going also to consider some of the deeper or yes, the deeper details, okay, like writing pressure. So gaano kadiin yung pagsulat niya, okay, and then not only that, yung rhythm, kung tuloy-tuloy ba yung pagsulat niya or pahinto-hinto. Okay, so kung pahinto-hinto yung sulat, mapapansin natin there might be hesitations, or that is a sign, or that could be a sign that it is being forged, okay, or that is a forged handwriting. Right, so with that, take note of those handwriting characteristics. And it says here that on our next principle here that individuality in handwriting can only be determined through comparative examination. So tama nga naman. So paano natin malalaman okay, kung ano yung mga individual characteristics, okay, na meron ng isang tao. So malalaman lang natin yan comparing with the standard, okay, or written or prepared under comparable conditions, or standard documents na sinasabi natin, okay, or yung known documents, okay, alam natin na galing sa kanya yan or siya mismo yung sumulat. So with that, we have here the question. So let's say here the illustration, you have the known and then question. So we are going to look on or compare these two. So malalaman natin yung individuality, or we can determine, okay, if that is the same, okay, or if that is not the same, or that is not written by the same person or a single person. Okay, so with that, that is for this principle. Okay, so comparative examination is needed, and similarity does not mean identity also. Okay, so hindi ibig sabihin na porket eksakto, okay, or hindi porket or hindi ibig sabihin na magkatulad yung ano to, yung signature, sabihin natin sa signature. When it comes to signature, okay, so hindi porket, or hindi ibig sabihin na porket magkapareho yung signature ay ibig sabihin na ay confirm na siya na yung tao na pumirma nun. So meron yung instances kasi na halos parehas, okay, magkaparehas yung pirma, okay, magkaparehas yung characteristics. So it's very much related kasi dito sa ano natin sa next principle. Okay, so complete identity means definite forgery. Okay, so halos magkaparehas yung signature or magkaparehas yung characteristics, okay, magkaparehas or they are geometrically identical. Okay, geometrically identical. Okay, ibig sabihin magkaparehas yung size, magkaparehas yung alignment, magkaparehas yung spacing, magkaparehas yung slant, okay, ng paggawa niya ng signature. Okay, and then with that, that is a sign. It says here that it is a definite sign of forgery, especially in in signature. Okay, so ibig sabihin nun that might be traced, okay, that might be traced, okay, or that might be formed by tracing the signature, okay, or forging the signature. So hindi ibig sabihin na yung signature, since it is the same, wag niyong sabihin na siya yung pumirma nun. Kasi baka pineke lang naman ng ibang tao. So dito maraming napapahamak na ibang tao. Okay, or meron dito yung mga nabibiktima na nawi-withdraw yung account or yung savings sa bank account. Okay, kasi halos parehas yung signature. Okay, so they think that he is the one who really, okay, signed the document. Or when it comes to check pala, okay, pwedeng sa cheque, di ba? So sa cheque, okay, since meron siyang signature, tinanggap nila. However, they were not able to consider that it might be a traced or forged signature. Okay, so hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ibig sabihin na similarity means identity. So it should not be. Okay, since complete identity means definite forgery or completely identical. Okay, or especially geometrically identical. Okay, measurements of the letter, measurements of the writings, okay, is very much similar with the two, okay, two specimens are very much similar with each other. So that is a sign of forgery. Okay, and with that, those are the principles, or those are some of the basic principles of handwriting identification. Okay, so with that, we have mentioned a while ago that physical condition of a certain person is one of the factor that affects our handwriting. Okay, sabi natin kanina. So what are the illnesses that may affect handwriting of an individual? Okay, meron tayong isa dito. So meron yung tinatawag natin na agraphia or dysgraphia. Okay, so anong ibig sabihin ng agraphia or dysgraphia na ito? So it says here that it is the deficiency, okay, in the ability to write. Okay, so the person cannot write, okay, but he can read, okay, but he can read. He can write, but he can't read. He can write, but yes, he can't he can read. So hindi siya makasulat, okay? Wala siyang kakayahang magsulat, but pwede siya or meron siyang kakayahang magbasa. Okay, it's because this kind of impairment, it is because of lack of coordination. Okay, so that's why he can't create a letter, or he can create different words, or he cannot write properly. It's because sabi nga natin, this causes, okay, or this is caused by lack of coordination. Pero pwede siyang makapagsulat, pero yun nga, since there is a lack of coordination, hindi niya maisulat ng maayos, okay, yung mga gusto niyang isulat. So with that is agraphia or dysgraphia. So this might affect, okay, the writings of, this is one illness that could affect handwriting. Okay, and then we have here aphasia. Fascia, it comes from the Greek word aphatos, which means speechless, and it is also known as aphemia. Okay, aphemia, aphemia, it is a condition, okay, it is a condition wherein a loss of the ability to produce or comprehend language. So we have here an illustration. So this word that he have heard, okay, is I like cats. Okay, so nahihirapan siyang intindihin, okay, kung ano ba yung cats, or ano ba ang cat, or nakalimutan niya, okay, ano ba yung cat, okay, ano ba ang itsura ng cat, or ano ba yung cat na yan, hayop ba yan, or tao ba yan, okay, so naguguluhan siya, even though with that hindi rin siya makapag-produce, okay, or hindi rin niya masabi, okay, that's why nahihirapan niyang i-speak out, okay, yung mga words, okay, or nahihirapan siyang makipag-usap. So that is a condition of aphasia. And next we have here dyslexia. Okay, dyslexia naman, this is from the Greek word dys, which means impaired, and lexis, which means word. Okay, so this is considered to be a learning disability. Learning disability, it's because it says here that it is it manifests primarily as difficulty with written language, okay, especially in reading and spelling. So as you can see here in our illustration, okay, so he cannot write, okay. So for the person who are experiencing dyslexia, ganito yung illustration niya. He cannot easily, okay, or he can't write, okay, he can't write properly the words, okay, or he cannot put the letters in the correct manner, okay, or in the correct order, okay. So that's why nahihirapan sila sa spelling, okay. And he can't also, since he can't recognize easily, okay, those letters or the proper places of those letters, so that's why narihirapan din siyang basahin, okay. So that is why, or that is what we call as dyslexia. And next here is the so-called paragraphia, okay. So paragraphia, it says here that the inability to write the correct words, okay, but ability to copy text is retained. So this might be one of the advantage of, or the ability, I mean positive side of paragraphia, because yes, they cannot write the correct words, okay, but they can copy text, or they can copy the words that they are seeing, okay. So yung nakikita nila, or meron silang copybook form, or they have a standard, then they can create or they can write, okay, nakokopya nila. However, ang problema sa kanila is that they are writing, okay, they write words and letters, okay, other than those they intended to write, okay. So merong naisasamang unintended letters, okay, sa mga sulat nila. That's why it could be also difficulty, or they might be hard also in creating words that are incorrect spelling, okay. So that is the illness, okay, or that is the disorder called paragraphia, okay. So next here is the Alzheimer's disease. So you are very much familiar with this. So this is usually experienced by those person aging above 60 years, okay. And then with that, this is a farm, okay, this is a condition wherein they lost their memory, okay, and ability to read and write, okay. So aside from that, sabi nga natin kanina, since ang involved then in order for us to create handwritings, okay, produce handwritings, is the brain or our mind. So with that condition, we can think, or we lost our memory, then we cannot, or we hardly create, or we feel difficult in producing handwritings already, okay. So that is for Alzheimer's, or that could be one effect of Alzheimer's disease. And James Parkinson's disease, sabi nga natin kanina, okay, yes, sabi nga natin kanina, okay, one thing that could affect also, or isa sa tinitignan natin ay yung mga rhythm, okay, ng writings in identifying individuals. So pwedeng maapektuhan yun because of this also, James Parkinson's disease, okay. Bakit ba? Ano ba ang James Parkinson's disease? So it is called as movement disorder. So one of the patients or famous individual that is suffering this kind of disease is the coach of our People's Champ, or the People's Champ, okay, which is si Coach Freddie Roach, okay. So with that, it might affect, this is also this affects our handwriting, especially the tremors, okay, or it's because of the shaking, okay, of the hand. Then the writings could create different, or they could create shaky writings also, or tremors also on the writings. So that is James Parkinson's disease. And we have here the ALS, or it is also termed as amyotrophic, okay, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, okay. So This is also called in some medical terms as Lou Gehrig disease. So this is, this is the one, this condition includes weakening of the muscles. So, sabi nga natin kanina, aside from the brain, one of the body parts, okay, organs that that are involved in creating or in producing handwritings is our our muscles. So with that, since the muscles are weakened, then it could affect, or it might affect, our handwritings also. Okay, so that is the ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, weakening of the muscles. And arthritis, of course, these has something to do with the joints of our body. Okay, so this might affect, okay, so this might affect also the rhythm, okay, of our handwriting. Okay, kung gaano tayo kabilis na magsulat, okay, this might affect. Okay, take note that arthritis, it comes from the Greek word anthro, which means joint, and it is it means inflammation. Okay, so with that, since the joints is affected in here, then of course the rhythm of our handwritings is also affected. Okay, so that is for arthritis. And cerebral palsy. Okay, so this is an abnormal alteration of movement or motor function. So sabi nga natin kanina, isa sa mga involved na organ is yung kamay natin, and aside from that, the muscles. So with that, the handwriting skill of that person is also affected when they have this kind of illness. Okay, because the one that is affected in here, or the condition of this, is that they have abnormal alteration of movement or motor function, or they can't freely move their body. Okay, so with that, those are the illnesses that might affect, okay, our handwritings. So with that, since they could affect our handwritings, then it could affect, okay, handwriting identification. So it could also create different handwriting characteristics. So they could create also handwriting characteristics or individual characteristics because of their illnesses that they are suffering from. Okay, so those are only some. And next, we have here a question. Okay, we have here just a question. It says here that, does hypnosis affect handwriting? Okay, so pwede kayang kung sasabihin natin na yes, it can affect handwriting, then pwede nating i-hypnotize ang isang tao para pirmahan ang isang document, di ba? So can it really affect handwriting, hypnosis? So we have here an answer. It says here that this kind of condition, since since hypnosis, okay, involved the condition wherein they try to they try to manipulate the mind of that person, but most of the time this induce them to fall asleep or resemble sleepy. They could be induced in the state of to sleep. Okay, so with that, since ganun yung situation, then this hypnosis cannot affect handwriting, because in this state the person is more relaxed and he will lose the interest to do the task or to do handwriting. Okay, so that is the answer for this one. So we have here also the copybook forms that we have mentioning a while ago. So copybook form, we are referring to the school model that we have. Okay, school model, or these are the ones that we have during our school days, especially in our preschool and our elementary days, for us to develop our handwriting. Okay, so with that, because of this copybook form, meron tayong mga general characteristics, kasi copybook form standard yan. So ganito ang paraan kung paano isulat ang letter B, big letter B, small letter B. So with that, nabubuo ang general characteristics. So ngayon, ano yung mga copybook form model, or ano yung mga iba't ibang klase ng copybook model, copybook form na meron tayo. Okay, so we are going to have here in our next slide. Okay, so these are the early forms of copybook style. Okay, so we have here the Spencerian script. So this is during this was in 1848. Okay, so this was developed by American educators, especially or named Platt Rogers Spencer. Okay, that's why this script was, or this copybook form was named after him, Spencerian script. So what is the reason, or what could be the reason why is it that it is developed? Okay, so this he believed that this penmanship is written quickly and legibly and elegantly, as you can see in here. So with that, it is easily by looking at this, it is like a form in the form of a cursive writing. So since it's like since it's cursive writing, then we can write it quicker than other kinds of writing. Okay, so that is for Spencerian script copybook form. Okay, and then we have here Palmer copybook naman. So this was developed also for the purpose of yan, to for it I mean this kind of writings, okay, is also to teach the this copybook form is also aimed to teach, okay, rapid, easily executed and business writing. So this is more on those individuals, okay, or he tried Palmer tried to help, okay, those individuals who want to do, okay, or write, or to become practical business writers also. Okay, so as you can see in here, this is the example of the copybook or Palmer copybook. Okay, and we have here the Denelian copybook form. Okay, so we have here, it is taken from, it is developed, or it is derived from Palmer method. Okay, and it is designed to ease the learning of manuscripts. So kung mapapansin nyo kasi kanina, medyo mas mahirap siyang isulat. However, in this part, okay, it's easily, or it is also it is easier to recognize the letters, and it is easier to write also. So this was developed by Donald Thurber. Okay, and then for other copybook forms, we have for other ancient or old copybook form or earliest copybook forms, we have the British copybook, and then we have also the French copybook, one of the earliest copybook forms that was developed, and then we have also the German copybook form. Okay, so overall those are the earliest copybook forms that was developed. Okay, so with that, we are going to continue on our next video presentations with regards to the group of characteristics also. Okay, so for now, if you have a question, then again you can write it on our comment section, and then we try to answer that, and if not, we can also try to answer that on our synchronous sessions. So thank you for watching.